What's up, everybody? Jonathan here again with another Reyes production. And today we're going to talk about the dramas that us detailers go through, not on a daily basis, but like on occasion. With that being said, I'm going to tell you how I handle it, but drop it down in the comments how you would handle it.
All right, Jonathan. So first big drama is last minute cancellations.
Oh, I thought you were going to say about getting fined.
Nah, well, that's only happened once. And then go check out that video.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that video where I get fined by the city of Newport, check out the other videos down below.
But Jonathan, what happened today, man?
So yesterday, I texted the customer, I confirmed with the client, and they said, yeah, we're good to go for today. All right, fine. So today, show up at 10 o'clock. No one's at the office. The gate's open. But then I call the client, and the client says, my phone didn't work. I thought I was texting you, but apparently you weren't getting the text messages. So today's a holiday, so my wife is not going to be at the office today, so she wants to cancel it for today. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Cancellations will happen. It's a given. You're just going to have to deal with it. So with that being said, I asked the other client that I had booked for a later time and said whether or not they wanted it earlier, and luckily enough, she was cool with that. So here we are, 2 hours earlier at the next detail.
Now, some detailers are gonna say, that's why I require a deposit. How do you feel about it? Is it part of the game where you have to let it go, or do they have a point?
They have a point, but at the same time, I have a second job, I have a second job, so that's not gonna bug me as it would for people who actually strive as this as their primary job. I get that. So that deposit, that's fine. I don't need it. Because guess what? Next time they call me, I'm not available. So it's a double-edged sword. But still, you're right. I missed out my time. I wasted time, and I didn't have a deposit. But that's fine because you get to pick and choose your clients, and you know which clients are more truthful and which ones are not.
Now, since you brought that up, have you ever had to fire a client before? Before, during, or after a detail, you're like, I'm not working with this guy ever again.
Well, the cancellation one, this is like my actual second cancellation with this client. I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first one, so now this is the second one. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna give him one more chance, but that's about it. I'm just gonna figure that one out as it goes along.
All right, Jonathan. Second scenario is a nitpicker. A client who's like, oh, you missed a little hair here, oh, a little stain. Have you ever had one of those?
Yes and no. It was only for one little thing, but that's about it. They weren't nitpicking on every single thing. Let me tell you a little secret. When a customer says or a client says, when they show you the car, the first thing they're gonna show you or the first thing that they're gonna tell you that they want taken care of, I promise you that is the first thing that they're gonna check once you're done. They don't care about anything you ever did. They're gonna check on that thing that they had mentioned to you in the beginning. And that's what they're gonna look at. So just make sure you're listening to the clients and you concentrate on what they're saying. But most importantly, listen to what they're saying at the beginning of the conversations. That's their priority that they want taken care of, and that's what they're gonna check when they come back after you're done with the detail. I promise you that.
Next scenario, the low ballers. People asking for discounts or saying, oh, you can't do anything less, or try to make their own packages. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I let them make their own packages. That's totally fine, but the price is gonna be very similar, if not the same, as my current prices. It's kind of hard for me to have packages or prices, if you will, because I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the other videos. It's not fair that I make this package, but they don't want two things out of like that package. And then they want to make this other package, but they want to add two things to it. So it kind of throws everything off. So I don't really have packages, but I do at the same time just for people to go on my website for reference. And then we could adjust accordingly.
Next situation is when a customer is rushing you. Has that ever happened where they're like, hey, I forgot to tell you, I gotta go to work in 30 minutes?
Never.
Never?
Nope. I don't let that faze me. I don't let the client dictate the time frame when I'm detailing. I always let them know ahead of time, hey, you know what? I'm not here for volume. I'm just here to take care of your car because you're my most important client at the moment in time. So I'm gonna take care of your vehicle. However long it's gonna take me, approximately 1 to 4 hours, that's how long it's gonna take me. Are you okay with that? And they'll say yes. So before I even start, I let them know the time frame, and that's what happens.
Here's a famous one. It's not that dirty. Have you ever had to upsell when you showed up because it was extremely dirty? Or maybe another reason, they had too many things in the car?
No, I don't want to say upsell, but I will just say I'd have to adjust my pricing accordingly because, well, I don't want to blame them and say you said. I don't ever want to say you said because now then you're kind of like putting them in the position. Don't forget, they're the clients and they're the reason why you're in business is because they're the ones paying you, you're not paying them. Yes, you are providing a service, but they are paying you to do it. So I usually would have to adjust my pricing accordingly and just let them know, hey, you know what? Your car was a little bit more dirtier than what we had discussed. I'm still going to honor my price. However, I would appreciate it if you would be able to pay this price. If not, then I totally understand. And then I just take it as a loss right there. I leave it at that because you don't want to start having an altercation with the client in the middle of getting paid. Does that make sense?
And you're already there, right, to do the
Exactly,
job?
you're already there.
Yeah, you don't want them to be like, nah, never mind, and then
Yeah, and then they'll be like, no, never mind, but I'm gonna hook you up with a review, bro.
Yeah.
And then you get that 1-star review and you're not gonna want that either.
All right, man. Now, next question is the parking situation.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Luckily, it's a holiday, so you're taking up spots that you're not supposed to, but I mean, there's nobody here.
Yes.
Now, is that on the customer, or is that on you to figure out when you show up?
On my last video, I mentioned that it's my responsibility to know the rules and the laws and regulations of like parking in the city or within the city. Again, it's ultimately the detailer's, I think it's the detailer's responsibility to know where they should park, as well as the clients, because you already had that address and the city before you made the appointment or when you made that appointment. So now it's up to you to do the research and see whether or not where you can scout out and park the vehicle when you're doing the detail. Like for today is a holiday. I didn't know, I forgot that today was a holiday, but today landed to be a holiday and I see that the banks were closed and this is an underground parking structure and I see bank parking everywhere. So being that said, the banks were closed for today, so we should be able to park here at the bank parking spots. And sure enough, everybody else parked here in the banks. I think it's the detailer's responsibility. You could play it off and say, well, that's not fair because I don't live there. The client is the one that lives there. They're the ones who are supposed to tell me where to park. But at the same time, they don't care because this is not their parking structure. They only care about their one little spot. And they could have somebody park next to them because they could be numbered for every resident that lives in the complex.
And here's the last question. When you get those phone calls, do you ask for pictures, a description of their vehicle's condition, or you just give them a quote? How do you handle that?
So usually I ask for pictures. I had this one customer says, oh, you know what? I've never had a detailer ask me pictures before, ever. I said, that's probably not a detailer. That was probably just a car wash guy you're looking for. So I never ended up with that customer. But yes, I do ask for pictures. That way I tell them and say, hey, look, I would like to have pictures. So that way I know what I could possibly be getting myself into as far as detailing and actually giving you a more accurate quote because I don't want to give you a quote and I undersell myself, or if I give you a quote, I'm overcharging you. That makes sense for the both of us. Also, there was one more thing. I forgot because I almost got ran over by this car right here to your right. Oh, but there are some clients that just don't want to send pictures because they're kind of ashamed of how the car's condition is. I get that too, but at the same time, I kind of need to know what I'm getting myself into before I actually get there.
Has anybody ever asked you to move before? Like on the road, on someone's parking lot? Like, hey, I need to park there.
No, never. No, because like I just make sure that everything is where it needs to be. I'm not blocking everybody. I'm not obstructing anything. You also got to think about the emergency vehicles that may happen to pass by, that need to pass by. You got to think about that stuff because God forbid you are parked, you are blocking something, and then an emergency vehicle like a fire hydrant or police needs to come by. That wouldn't be a good day for you. So just think about that stuff when you're setting up. So that's how I handle the situations. If you handle it any different, just drop it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks again for watching.